Now let's look at a few other functions that are helpful in the math category of functions. We'll start with round. So let's say that you want to calculate a price based on a total cost and a quantity. You can come here and just type equals A2 divided by B2, and you get this answer right here. You'll notice that based on our formatting, there are only 2 decimal places right here, which may work for what you need. However, if we change the formatting of this number and just do general, you'll notice that these decimals go on for quite a while. If you wanted to round the actual numbers instead of just displaying the round number, you can use the round function. So what we'll do in this example, we'll use the round function, and then the first thing that you give this function is the number or the calculation that you want to round. Press a comma, and then you give this function a number of digits. Anything that is a positive number will round to the right of the decimal place, and anything that's negative will round to the left of the decimal place. So let's say you just wanted 2 digits here past the decimal place, so we'll type a 2, and then that rounds it to 17.79. Same thing here, it's now 3.33. So again, it's very important to understand, before when we had just done this calculation without the round function, it was only displaying 2 decimal points, but the actual math behind it was decimal places far beyond the just 2. But now we've limited that math to 2 decimal places. Let's look at another example here. We have this number that has 4 decimal places, and we'll just do a quick little table showing the impact of that num digits number. So we'll type equals round, and then we'll select this as our reference number and hit F4 so that our cell stays in the same spot. Press a comma, and then for num digits, we'll just reference this cell right here and press enter. So what this has done here is it's now rounding to 3 decimal places to the right of the decimal. So this 5792 becomes 5790. Let's pull this down once, and you see that 579 rounds to 58. Pull it down again, and now it's rounding to 0.60. And then if you wanted the num digit to be 0, that's going to round it to the nearest whole number, which is 1214. As I mentioned, negative numbers will round to the left of the decimal place. So right here, 1214 becomes 1210. If we round it to negative 2 decimal places, it rounds down to 1200. And rounding down to 3 will get you 1000. So this function can be helpful depending on how you're using decimals with your numbers. One other thing to note, there's also the round down and round up functions, which instead of rounding to the nearest number, will either round down or round up. Let's look at the sum products function. There are several uses for this function, but let's look at a simplified example here. Here we've got a table showing the quantity of items sold by branch, and up here we have a unit price or an item price. This is the same item price throughout all your branches. And what we want to do is quickly calculate a total revenue. To do that, you could create a formula that multiplies the quantity times the price, and you would press F4 to hard code that, and then add this column C times the column C price plus column D times the column D price, and F4 that. So here's what that function would give you, and that works and isn't too bad to do based on the fact that we only have 3 numbers. But if you had more numbers that you wanted to do this for, it might get a little time consuming. The sum product function will do in essence what we just showed. So type equals sum product, And here you're going to select these cells for the first array, press F4 to lock those in place, press a comma, and then select this row of cells. So this sum product is going to do what we just did in the formula. It's going to multiply this price in column B in cell B1 with the quantity in B3. Then it's going to add the price in C1 times the quantity in C3, etc. So if we press enter, it actually gives us the same information that we had in our more manual formula. Let's look at the abs function now. The abs function will return the absolute value of a number. So let's come over here and type a -1. If we type equals abs and then select the number, it's going to turn that -1 into a +1. And if we had just a positive number, it's going to leave it as a positive number. That seems simple enough. And most often you'll use the abs function within other functions if that's what if you're wanting to ignore negative numbers. Here's another instance of using the abs function that I've used in the past. Right here we have a list of customer transactions, we have invoices, we have this type column that shows us invoices, but then we also have these payments. And we want to match up payments with their invoices. Hopefully you have a system that can do this, but sometimes you might have to do this manually. So what I'll do is I'll often come to my data and I'll create a helper column where I'll type in the abs function and just create an absolute value for all of those items. I'm going to hit Control-Shift-L a couple times to bring the filters to this abs column. And then I'm going to sort by this absolute value column. By doing this, it's a little easier to see and match up payments because now we can see where 2 line items zero out. So that might be an instance where you would use the abs function. Let's look at the rank function. So here we have the test scores of 4 people, Jerry, Elaine, George, and Cosmo, and we want to rank them to see which one did the best. If you type equals rank, you'll notice that there are several rank functions here listed. If we select this rank function right here, just plain old rank, it says this function is available for compatibility with Excel 2007 and earlier. So basically, this is an old function that Excel is keeping around so that you can use it with earlier versions of Excel. We'll go through the rank function as our first example here. First, what we want to do is select the number that we want to rank. So we'll come here to that 95 and press comma. And then the ref is a list of numbers that you want to rank against. So we'll select these 4 right here and press F4 to lock it in place, and then we can pull this down. Elaine and George got the same test score, so they're both ranked number 2. If we said that George got an 80, then this 2 would become a 3. Now let's look at the other rank functions, which are very similar. Rank.eq does the same thing as the rank function. So we'll select this number right here, and then the ref right there. And if we pull this down, again, we get 1, 2, 2, 4. The EQ in rank.eq means that any item that has the same value will get a rank equal to the next item. So here we've got our first item, and then we've got the next 2 items with the same score, so they each get a rank of 2, and then the last place item gets a 4. The rank.avg stands for average, so we'll type rank.avg, and again, the syntax is the same here. But now when we do this, if we increase our decimal right here, what this has done is it's ranked these two the same, but instead of giving them a 2, it's giving them a 2.5. So what it does is it recognizes that Jerry is in number 1, the first place, and Cosmo is in number 4. And so we're missing the ranks 2 and 3. And so what it does is it just averages those two ranks, 2 and 3 together, and it comes up with a 2.5. So depending on how you want to rank ties, you could use the .eq or .avg version of this formula. Next, we'll just come down here and use another function that's kind of fun. It's called randBetween, and this returns a random number between the numbers that you specify. So you give it a bottom number, press a comma, and give it a top number. It will randomly pick a number in that range. Important to note that anytime formulas are updated, that number will be updated as well. So if you click into this function into this formula right here and press enter, it'll change. You can also come here to the formulas bar and hit this calculate now button or the F9 button, and it will give you a new random number each time. There's also the rand function, which returns a random number between 0 and 1. And there's nothing that you give that function, but it will return a random decimal. So depending on how you want to randomize things, you can use those two functions. Finally, the last function to go over is the sequence function. Sequence is a newer function that's only available in Excel 2011 or those with a Microsoft 365 version of Excel. The most common use for sequence is if you want to create a numbered list quickly. So if you wanted to create a numbered list 1 to 100, you could type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and go all the way to 100. That's obviously going to take a long time. You can also pull this number down and hold the control button, and it's going to count for you, so you could quickly get to 100 quicker than just typing it out by hand. You can also use the sequence function. Type equals sequence, and then just type 100, and then that will give you a list of down to 100 really quick. There's a bit more that you can do with this function. So if you type sequence, you can also tell Excel how many rows and columns you want to create. So let's say we wanted to create something with 5 rows and 2 columns. Then we're going to get a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, 10. You can also pick a start number, so let's say 100, and a step, which is basically what you want in between your numbers. So let's say a 5, and now you're counting by 5 starting at 100. Again, the most common thing that you would use sequence for, in my mind, would just be to come up with a numbered list.